guy coming to the stage, the favorite of mine, is a favorite of ours here at the Jolla Comedy Store. You've seen him on Vet TV. Make some noise for my good friend, Ron Ripley. That's really, everybody, keep it going, keep it going. Get the fuck back to the popcorn machine. Get out of here. Funny bastard. I had so many jokes about my sweet black queen wife, but I'm just gonna, I guess, pass those up. I don't want to step on that material. How's everybody feeling tonight? That's good? That's good? That's fucking cool. Anybody develop any bad habits during that pandemic? It's all right. You can be clean here. All right, I'll start. I started dabbling with alcoholism and bird watching. I'm not a role model. Right. I am just an alcoholic aviary enthusiast. Did you guys know that you can make hummingbird feeders out of old Tito's handles? That's cool, man. I like hummingbirds, man. I think they're the coolest birds. There are some facts that I learned about hummingbirds. They're the tiniest of birds. They are the only birds that can fly backwards. Their babies are less than the size of a penny. Read a fucking book, you proletariats. I think that's fascinating, man. Like after like 6 Bloody Marys, you're sitting there, just looking at that thing, like when you think you see a baby hummingbird for the first time, you're like, holy shit, honey, get in here, get in here, get in here. Look at that, it's a baby hummingbird. It's so tiny, its little wings. My wife let me go on for about 2 hours like that before she was I was like, hey, that's a bee, dumbass. It's cool, man. We learned some shit about ourselves when you're contained with someone for about 1.5 years and you're married and you don't have a choice. Anybody else feel that? No married people in here? Round of applause, married people? Nice. Watch this. Round of applause, married people. Round of applause if you make a good team. Statistically, that doesn't add up. It's bullshit. The only thing I learned in quarantine is if we're a team, my wife's the owner. Fellas, am I right? All right. A lot of ladies in the audience. That's cool. Oh, man. My wife, it's cool. I watched her do Zoom meetings. Has anybody watched their spouse do their job before the pandemic? Like really get the up close and personal, like, whoo, holy shit. My wife's got to be a fucking bitch to work for experience. Does anyone else like that? My wife's Zoom meetings are different than Rui's, man. I heard my wife make this sound. I've been married to her for 10 years. I've never heard her make that fucking noise. Came out one morning after his, I just heard one, it just went on. Oh my God! Click! Came out of the living room, I said, honey, what the fuck was that? Without missing a beat, she just looks at me and she says, that's Candace, I fucking hate that bitch. And then after the pandemic let up, you know, I went to one of her work parties and I got to meet all these people that she's been having these Zoom meetings with. And like 30 minutes into it, you know, people are like, oh my God, you're her husband? We've heard so much about you. Your wife is our boss. Shut the fuck up, she's mine too. What are we drinking? 30 minutes later, my wife fetches me. She's like, how you doing? I'm like, you're right, Candace is a fucking idiot. Jeez Louise. Got my wife to watch Lord of the Rings during the pandemic. That was cool. No one? No nerds in here? It's an easy thing to do, man. It's like 12 hours, the Jackson director's cut. I just slipped her like 4 Adderall. She had no idea. Like how you guys just laughed at the fact that I drugged my wife. Fucking reprobates. She got me back though. She got me to watch this movie Ghost. You guys ever heard of this film Ghost? You shaking your head over there? You're a P. Swayze fan? I'll bet you like that butt scene in Roadhouse. It's all right. My wife's kind of the same thing, man. She likes Patrick Swayze a lot, so she made me watch the movie Ghost. If you've never seen the movie Ghost, yes, Patrick Swayze, Whoopi Goldberg, Demi Moore, very famous movie. You know, everybody remembers the pottery scene where the righteous brothers, my love, my dog. Everybody remembers that. And they all think it's a romantic film, and if you think Ghost is a romantic film, you're a fucking idiot. I'm here to tell you, I lost it because it was like you could just get away with shit back then. Like there's a scene in the movie where Patrick Swayze is trying to get Whoopi Goldberg to get Demi Moore to believe that he's a ghost, he's been murdered, she needs her to avenge his murder, he needs Whoopi Goldberg to communicate to that. Demi Moore says, hey, Whoopi Goldberg, I think you might be lying to me. This might be a fucking con. Patrick Swayze's like, oh, no, don't let her tell it. Tell her something only I would know. And Demi Moore's like, yeah, tell me something only Sam would know. And Sam goes, tell her I love her. Whoopi Goldberg says, Sam says he loves you, because she smokes. Demi Moore says, Sam would never say that, because we had this other word. When Sam would hear Demi Moore say, I love you, he would just reply, ditto. Ditto. What a terrible relationship if that's how you communicate your love for each other. However, in this moment, it is the slam dunk, the proof of death that Demi Moore is asking for, and I'm just here to tell you, no. Not in my house, not in my marriage, not in my quarantine. No, if I was a ghost and I needed all this stuff, needed somebody to convince my wife of something that only a husband would know. Whoopi, look at my wife right in her face and repeat every word I'm about to say. Do you remember during the pandemic, we were binge watching Game of Thrones? It was the middle of the Red Wedding episode. You thought it was too violent, so you got up from the couch, you went over to the kitchen to get yourself another drink. That's when you opened up your bathrobe to me, exposing your bodacious cans. You winked at me without ever breaking eye contact. You lifted your leg, thought you were gonna fart, and then you shit on the floor! Tell her that, Whoopi! Tell her that! I'm not killing bitch! The fuck is wrong with you? Glad you guys like that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. You guys are fucking perverts, but keep that energy going for this next comedian, the best hair in San Diego, Mr. Dave Joe Grillo.
Keep it going for Ron and his funny hat. Keep it going for him. His favorite hat from 5th grade, Boob Police.